Welcome to another episode of mathematics. In today's mathematics class, we are going to solve this question on coordinate geometry. And this question comes from South Africa grade 10 examination. So if today is your first time of coming across this page, do well to like, follow, and share this post to get a greater number of people on this platform. Now, we are told that this is what a plane, a Cartesian plane. Because of the space I have on the board there, I don't have enough space to write the question. I am going to display the question on the screen. So while I read here, according to the question, it says in the Cartesian plane below, coordinate A, we have A coordinate -3 and 0. Then B, we have 0 and 2. C coordinate has 2 and -1. And D coordinate has -1 and -3. Are points on a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. So this is a quadrilateral. It forms a quadrilateral. Now let us look at the question. Number one says determine the coordinates of R, the midpoint of AC. The coordinate of R, the midpoint of AC. Coordinate of R, midpoint of AC, that is AC. If we are to trace this line, we trace this line, it becomes a diagonal of this shape. So we will have the coordinates, and that point is the midpoint of it we are looking at. So which means R, the coordinates now, will give us the midpoint of AC, which is x1 plus x2, that is the formula, all over 2, then comma, y1 plus y2 all over 2. So this is the coordinate, and it will be between A, which is -3, then 0, and C, we have the point, which is 2, then -1. That is for A. We are going to use this formula to get that. Now let's look at B. B says calculate the gradient AB. We have to calculate the gradient, the slope of this line, then between this point. Then C, calculate the length AC. Length AC means distance between this point here, distance between here. That is what we are asked to calculate there. D, if ABCD is a rhombus, calculate the area of ABCD. So let's begin to calculate it one after the other. Now let's take A. A says, well, we should look for this midpoint. Remember that the midpoint is this formula, x1. What is our x1? Let's substitute the value. X1 is -1 here, so that we have your R around. Gives us, which will now give us -3 plus x2. What is our x2? Look at x2 here. x2, that is +2. Then all over 2, comma, your y1. What is your y1? Y1 here is 0. Then it says 0 plus. What's your y2? We have -1. Then plus -1. Everything over 2. Now let's go. So your R coordinates now will give us this one plus this one gives us -1. That's where we have -1 over 2. Then we will have this one, 0 minus 1 is what? -1. So you have -1 over 2. So this is the coordinate of the midpoint. The midpoint of line AC. This is the coordinate. Or you can as well leave it like this. R like this. Put it in decimal form. It becomes 0. Half is 0.5. Then that's -0.5 rather. -0.5. Then comma -0.5. So this one is for the midpoint. Now the B says calculate the gradient. So gradient is the increase in y all over increase in x. Between these points, the y increase from here to this point, the x also increase from here to this point. Now let us calculate gradient. B. Gradient is denoted by what? M. Equal to what? Increase in y all over increase in x. Increase in y over increase in what? X. Now, the point between, we have A coordinates -3, then 0, and the point B, we have B here, 0, and then 2. So what we get now gives us m equal to, let's plug in these values now. We have y2 minus y1. What is your y2? Y2 here is what? 2. Then y1 is 0. We have 2 minus 0, then all over. Where is your x1? X2 is 0, then x1 is what? 3. We have 0 minus 2. X1 is what? Negative 3 minus negative 3. So this gives us equal to what? 2 here. Then this gives us negative times negative gives us what? 3. So this is your gradient. So your m is equal to 2 over 3. That is the answer to that. Now let's go to C. C says we should look for, calculate the length AC. Length AC now is the distance between this point here and this point. Where is that our point here? C here. And C says 2 and negative 1. 2 and negative 1. Then we want to look at AC. That is distance, length AC. Length AC now will give us what? The distance is equal to what? The root of x2 minus x1. Distance between 2 points along the plane is plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So this distance now will give us the AC. That is DAC now becomes the square root of, between these points, this point and this point. So your x2 here is 2. Gives us 2 minus x1 is what? Minus 3. That is minus 3. Then everything all squared plus y1. Y2 is, this is y2, negative 1, which is negative 1 minus 0 all squared. Then DAC now gives us the root of, this now gives us what? 2 minus 3 gives us plus 5 all squared. Then this one gives us negative 1 all squared. Then DAC now the distance, the length AC gives us 25 plus 1. 25 plus 1 is root 6, 26 rather. The distance AC is equal to the square root of 26. So if you wish, you leave the answer like this, or simply look for the root. Getting the root will give us 5 points. I think root of 6 is 5.10. Then it gives us 5.10 units. That is for the distance AC. Then the other one says the D. If ABCD is a rhombus, calculate the area. All right, let's calculate the area. D. Area of ABCD is equal to half times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Yes, this is the area of a rhombus. Now, what is the diagonal 1? The diagonal 1 is this first one here. We just calculated AC. So which now give us half times AC times, the next diagonal is what? BD. BD. So what we need now, we need this BD so that we can impute it and get our area. Now, what is BD? BD will have to be distance between these points. So we are still going to use DBD now. It's equal to the root of, we have x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So as usual, we put it there. Let us impute the values. The distance between points B and D now becomes, we take that as DBD. As usual, we use the same formula, which is square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Now let's go. Let's go to the coordinates. We have, this is your the coordinates here. We have B, 0 and 2, and D. We have negative 1, negative 1, negative what? 3. Now let's impute those values here. So the distance between B and D now gives us the root of x2 is minus 1, negative 1. The x1 is 0, minus 0. Then all squared plus y2 is negative 3 minus 2. Negative 3 minus 2, all squared. So the distance now between gives us then minus 1 all squared gives us what? Minus 1 all squared plus minus 5 all squared. So BD now become the square root of 1 plus 25. Then gives us equal to what? The square root of 26. Okay, since we have already calculated this one to be square root of 26, so area now, area is equal to half times AC times BD. So what is our AC? Half times AC is the square root of 26 times BD is also square root of 26. In SOD, when the root of the same number multiplies each other to give us that number. So it will now give us 1 over 2 times 26 over 1. So this one will cancel this, gives us also 13. So area is equal to what? 13 square units. That is 13 square units. So this is the answer to this question. If you find this class very interesting, please help us to share this video so that we can get to a greater number of people on this platform. Bye.